Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to this week's episode, which is about taking conscious, inspired action. Sometimes there's a resistance to action. Action is a very forward movement. It's a little bit more of a masculine in terms of, forward movement. We're going out, we're taking action. But I want it to become inspired action. We all know how to take action if we are in an emergency or an urgent situation. But I'd like us to reframe action and to take a look at it through the lens of being inspired and taking inspired action. So what does that mean? Inspired actions means living authentically as yourself as a woman, and then being inspired by what you're thinking and feeling, so that way you then go take action, take inspired action from that place of inspiration within you, from that being place, that authentic place within you, in whatever way that looks like for you. And then you're taking that action, which is that forward movement. And that's what we call inspired action. Sometimes we will encounter the dreaded, I don't know how to take action. And this is so normal. I know for me that I've experienced stuckness in my life. I didn't know how to move forward. I felt stuck in certain things briefly, and I felt very stuck on other things for years, actually. But there are ways forward, and I'm going to share some of those with you today here during this episode. So the dreaded I don't know how, that will literally keep you stuck. And it's fine that you don't know how. But what I'd like you to do when you recognize that is reach out for help. So you can reach out for help to a life coach, of course, because I believe in life coaching. You can reach out to help to a mentor, to a colleague, to a friend, to a family member, to whoever feels right for you, versus just not taking any action when you feel stuck or you don't know how. Because sometimes we don't know how to get there until we actually arrive at their place, and then we look back and go, oh, that's how I did it. But yet we might not have ever known how, or been given a formula, or even been able to figure it out until after we've arrived and we've been able to have that hindsight vision and see how we got to see how far we've come and actually how we did it. But the need to move forward sometimes can feel overwhelming and maybe cause a damper on allowing you to take that very next first step towards that forward movement of action or inspired action. And we might even feel overwhelmed by it because we start getting all up in our heads, and we go away from our heart space and that place that is within us as women, and in that intuitive space. And then we might feel disempowered because we're living in a state of overwhelm and feeling like maybe we don't have a choice because we don't know how, and things are defined by what is outside of us versus what is actually inside of us, because nothing can really define you from outside of you. You get to choose what allows you to define you, and they can be your own thoughts, or you can take on things from others and allow it to define you or redefine you. But I think it's changing and choosing a different mindset and a thought that I will figure this out. And I like to ask my clients when they say, I don't know how, I actually like to ask them, if you did know how, what would that be? What would that look like? And if you did know how, what would be the very first next step, even if it's just a little one, that you could take towards taking some inspired action. And then I just become quiet and I hold the sacred space and allow them. And usually the answer comes to them. They go, okay, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And then sometimes we'll coach together and we'll actually come up with some action plans so they can take some very next steps forward. Because sometimes when you live in indecision, you're actually making a decision, because indecision is also a decision, believe it or not. Let me say that again. Indecision is a decision, because when you live in indecision, you get to hide out behind the I don't know how, I just don't know what to do. And so you don't make a decision. So you're hanging out in indecision, and that inaction, that will keep you stuck, and it will perpetuate that cycle that you're in. And you won't get evidence and feedback when you go out and you just take action, where you get feedback and then you'll change direction and you'll change, or you'll get evidence you're on the right path. Because when you're in indecision and inaction, you can actually start feeling anxiety and overwhelm. You might even get lazy. You'll feel stuck, and you'll actually maybe even feel afraid to take action, and it perpetuates itself in like this downward spiral. So I like to guide my clients to also kind of chunk things into small amounts of time, and just prioritize your day at the beginning of your day with some very meaningful things. What's important to you? What do you really want to achieve and accomplish, and take inspired action on that day? And then I also look over my week. What are the top things I need to accomplish over the week, no matter what day it is? And then planning my time, planning the time on my calendar for me, in addition to the tasks that I need to do. And then allowing that time and space to be in the state of maybe possibility and a little bit of the unknown with the I don't know hows, but taking conscious action and inspired action when you design and plan your calendar, and you write into your calendar and you design the outcome in that time slot. You will be sure that you take the action and you will achieve the results that you want. So many people just put the meeting notice on their calendar, but when you design in the outcome that you want from the meeting, or the outcome that you want from the time slot, you will have better results in taking action. So let me give you an example. When I design my day, I design in time for me, and I design in time for exercise, I design in time for thinking, I design time for visionary work and creative work. I will also design in time for my tasks or to accomplish things. And I always will put the outcome. If it's a meeting, is it a decision on what to do for X or Y or Z, or A or B? If it's a meeting around a vision and a strategy, do we need to be aligned on the strategy, or do we need a decision and an outcome on a strategy, or do we need next steps? Whatever it is, think about the outcome that you want and design that into your calendar, because that will enable you to take action and to feel that sense of accomplishment for those action items that you're actually taking. And multitasking, let me just touch on multitasking. Multitasking is, again, it's that scatteredness, and it's not very highly functional, right? I think we talked about that in our last episode. And doing a lot of different things, not being focused on what's before you in the present moment, the busy work, keeping you away from, the meaningful action items. The multitasking can be an inhibitor. So stopping the multitasking is going to be an enabler to taking the action of what's very meaningful to you. So focus, prioritize, and be intentional with who you are. You're designing your day, your week, your month, and then moving forward from that inspirational place. And then learning to delegate as well. So when you're taking action, sometimes it's deleting, delegating, doing, the things that we do during the day to clear up that space, so that way we can move forward throughout our days and our evenings. Because when you take an inspired action, it will propel you forward. You're going to feel great, and you're going to have a sense of getting evidence for you're on the right path, or if you need to choose a new path and make a new decision. So just coming back to close, inspired action is really taking action from a place of inspiration by living in your natural, authentic self and state and being as a beautiful and powerful woman. and then going out and taking that beautiful, meaningful, inspired action to move you forward towards your goals, towards your dreams, and towards your desires. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.